My name's Olivier Massy. I'm a senior marketing manager here at Sony Music. So the role of a senior marketing manager, essentially we come on board when the music is nearly finished and we work directly with the artist and the wider teams across press, radio, digital, creative in establishing a strategy to make as many people as possible listen to our music. So, what does that look like in terms of creative? Where are the touch points in terms of audience? What's the strategy with regards to social? So it's a really all-encompassing role which covers pretty much every facet of the business. Yeah, so I guess my entry into this industry was entirely accidental and I never really predicted that I would work in music, although now looking back, I can't imagine myself doing anything else. I studied economics, maths, French, English at sort of sixth form level, and then I went on to do a master's in economics as well. And then when I was applying for roles in 2009, it was a really difficult time to get a job in the UK. It was in the middle of a credit crisis. There were literally no jobs available. I think I was applying to 70, 80 jobs a day. And then one day I got a job interview for a media sales job, which essentially you convince people to buy media space in magazines, which looking back, I would have hated that job. And this guy in interview took a look at my CV and noticed that at school and at university, I just did all these music projects. I put on events, I worked at radio, I did journalism, and he just looked at me and said, "You've got all this music experience, why don't you work in music?" And I was wearing a suit in interview and I just thought, wait, you can do that? And off the back of that, I just started thinking, well, maybe I could do that. And at 22 or so, I just started calling some of my favorite labels in the UK and London and just asked, look, can I work for you guys for free? I'm wanting to do anything. And that's kind of how it started. And now I've been doing this for sort of nearly 20 years. So it all kind of started from this random conversation with a bloke who didn't give me a job in media sales and sort of off the cuff sort of suggested I work in music. So I kind of owe this guy a lot of thanks, wherever he may be. So I guess the joy of my job is that there's no such thing as a typical day. Every single day you're presented with different challenges and different problems. And equally you work across so many different artists and genres. And the one thing that many people don't seem to realize with the music industry is that the product we're working with is a human being who's poured emotion, hard work, blood, sweat and tears into their art, into their song and their album. So when we take that on board, we have to be very sort of respectful of that and be really delicate around the art itself because these people are trusting us with it. So every single day throws up different challenges. The other thing that's worth mentioning is that the music industry is forever changing. When I started off, there was no such thing as Spotify. People would buy their music on iTunes for 99p. So it's just always evolving, and even now we're seeing it evolve within the Spotify and streaming space. So one reason I love my job is that it's always unpredictable. You don't know what fires you're going to need to put out at any point of the day. So you have to be really nimble and passionate and dynamic and willing to work hard. I wouldn't say it's an easy job, but it definitely comes with its perks and benefits. You get to go to great shows, you get to work with amazing talent, you get to develop really good relationships across the business. And what I love most is that everyone in this building, we're all kind of tied and bound by our love for music. So being able to come into a work environment and speaking about your passions is, I'm just really lucky to be able to do that.